Welcome, genuine souls. So, you think your twin soul, your perceived twin flame, turned out to have NPD, Romantic NPD. In past videos, I've given you coping strategies and ways to understand what actually happened and why it happened. Today we're going to talk about the range of narcissism. Now, most people, they have a realistic satisfaction with themselves. They have a healthy look at themselves. They know that they fail, they know that they succeed, they know that they really mess up, they know all of these emotions and they work through them and they understand them. Now, you have borderline narcissism and NPD narcissism. And it's weird because both of them have overwhelming fears of abandonment. Now, with the NPD, on the most part, there's a deluded need for attention. They have like a supremacist attitude. They think they are they are better than everybody else, and they're very emotionally dysregulated. Emotional investment in others isn't what they do. At the core of it, there's this deluded, grandiose self, this self-narrative that they have. They perceive themselves. They're quite often removed from what is actually reality. Now, with a normal person, you love, you hate, you fail, like I said, you succeed, you adapt the range to suit the self. You are complex and you know it. The narcissist, they have fantasies of who they will be. But unfortunate truth is, most of the time they end up stagnant and do nothing. Their attachment styles with the NPD person is they're preoccupied by themselves. They do the classic then, if they meet somebody, they're occupied with, I hope they like me, I hope they think I'm marvellous, I hope they love me. They're bound to love me. Then they do the disregard when this person isn't anything like them, not as superior as them. The strange deluded belief is that probably this person who they love bombed is probably more attractive, more intelligent and more successful than them, because remember, it's them that's deluded. Now, somewhere along the line, the NPD and the borderline, somewhere along the line there was missed development. Now, I don't want to parent bash because that's not fair. You don't know what the predicament was with the parents at that time. As a young child, they must be cherished and loved, and they must be shown empathy, love and attention. Now, somewhere along the line, the NPD child, the only way they could get any form of attention, it had to be earned. Everything that was good, that they did well, they got attention. Otherwise, generally, they got ignored. That's what the belief is. Borderline NPD, again, it's the same thing. It's the fear of rejection. And it could have been possibly the same thing, that the child wasn't shown attention. Or maybe, as a young child, the caregiver left. Unfortunately, they could have died, which is very sad because that's nobody's fault, is it? But the child could have lost that parent at a young age and then developed into this subconscious thing where they're going to be left and abandoned at any time and it's uncomfortable. Borderline, they will do it by kind of holding on and doing everything for that person. Please, please don't leave me, like a desperation. With the NPD person, it's more aggressive manipulation, how they get the person to stay with them. They'll punish them. We've talked about that in past videos, by the devalue and the disregard. Then they'll pull them back in again and then just continue to manipulate them in that way to make them stay with them. But the borderline is more a server. They'll serve that person and be submissive and do anything they want. Just don't leave them. And unfortunately for both of these people, it seems to be it's cause and effect, and they create the thing they fear the most. Because the NPD person pushes their lover, their boy girlfriend away, they end up losing love because the person perceives something's very wrong with them. Then the borderline narcissist ends up losing love because they hold on too hard. So you see, or they might do what's called testing. They'll test them, put them in situations just to test that they're not going to leave them. Anyway, yeah, unfortunately, so rejection does seem to be the outcome for both of them. Now, with the NPD person as well, their insight is impaired. They're so terrified of the fear of change that they continue to do the cycle. They love bomb, they get the person to fall in love with them, but unfortunately they then reject them. The chaos, there's comfort. It's frightening to change and get a different outcome. They end up on their own. Many relationships fail, and they'll just keep meeting people and doing the same thing over and over again. Now with the NPD as well, the boundaries, there's no boundaries. They can be aggressive. They don't really care who they hook or snare into their love harem. With the borderline, it's inward more so. The attention-seeking aspect of it, the NPD person needs attention however they can get it. They live in this perpetual state of they must be liked, they must be better, they must be needed. Can you hear my little cat? Hello, darling. By everybody. Now, the borderline is more specific to the one person. They want that one person to love them, adore them, and never leave them. Now, the cognitive distortion with the NPD person, the expectations are so high that this is how the devalue and the disregard keeps coming around. They believe, don't forget, they're deluded, and they believe that they're this supreme person, and the person they meet, they clarify as, prestigious, but then they realise they're just quite often a lovely, normal person. Because a lot of people who the NPD personality hooks is an empath. Now, the borderline personality has a low self-esteem. The NPD personality has a high self-esteem. Now, the prototype is in place for both of these. It's set from early childhood. Like I said before, NPD, others serve them. Borderline, they are the subservients. NPD, injury or wound, that can be quite severe when the person who they've chosen to stay with them departs and leaves them. Unfortunately, this can result in suicide. With the borderline, it's more impulsive, the suicide attempts. They have deep emotional pain and they want to be rescued. So yeah, I hope you find that helpful. Don't forget, genuine souls, your best years are yet to come.